so many angles, things to talk about with Nick Saban retiring today. But let's just, because this is something that it's really difficult to fathom. This is the last play of Nick Saban's coaching career, the last play he will ever coach, and there was no play that was more talked about for the week following.
Empty set now as Williams goes left, quarterback keep, nowhere to go for Milroe as he tried the quarterback keep. The Wolverines stop the tide. They end Alabama's season, and Michigan advances to college football's national championship game next week in Houston.
There it is, Michigan Radio Network. So I know, of course, Alabama Radio Network.
Not a lot of emotion there.
That's it.
One way or another.
It's
not
over.
Positive, not negative, not tears.
Dude, I'm going to show you video because Pam took video of the final play. And I don't think Milroe is actually tackled all the way when you see Alabama people walking in front of us to leave. Like, okay, it's over. We're leaving. We're out. I mean, the play's they're not even celebrating yet. These people are walking by.
No, as soon as they motioned the running back out, that was it. Everybody's like, oh, no.
Honestly, that's the biggest play of the college football season. There's no one individual play we've talked about more than that play.
Sure.
You're talking about a win-or-go-home play for Alabama in the semifinal. And let me tell you about what it felt like at the field compared to what it must have felt like on TV. At the game, you saw a couple of timeouts, right? They lined up for the play, and Michigan called timeout, and then Alabama called timeout, and then they ran the final play, which was Milroe up the middle. And watching it all unfold, the feel at the game, I turned to Pam and I said, they don't like the play they have come. Whatever this is, they don't like this play. They don't like the play, and it almost felt like it was they kept trying. What are we going to do? And you heard Saban talk about it after the game. He said, we had a play we liked on the first one. Michigan saw it, called timeout. So whatever they went to on that second play, Alabama didn't like, so they called timeout. So they didn't like not only that play, but now they ran a different play with Milroe trying to get up the middle and cut left.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm watching this going, they don't know what they want. They don't have a play ready for this situation that they like. This is where Alabama is at. Now on TV, going back and watching on TV, you see it, okay, it's a chess match, right? You heard, it's a chess match here, and Harbaugh calls timeout, and Saban calls timeout. I'm telling you, the feel at the game in the stadium was they don't like what they're going to call. And I watching this final play, I said to myself, Alabama's not getting in the end zone. They're not getting in the end zone because I don't know what they're going to run. And they run that Milroe play, and two things happen on that. One, Michigan gets the push that Alabama didn't expect them to get, but that's, again, one of the biggest things.
All day.
Right, but that's one of the biggest things that people saw in that Rose Bowl was, well, Alabama's physical and fast. They're going to push Michigan around, and it was the other way around. It was, whoa, this Michigan line is really something. Hang on a second. And so they got that push, and then Mikey Sanistril, who rejoined us after the national championship, was like they sent him on every play on that final drive in overtime. They sent him at Milroe on every play. So he's coming from the right side, from Milroe's left. Milroe can't cut because that play was designed to go up the middle and cut to the left. Yeah. And Milroe knows I can't cut.
No, but that's
and he gets hit a lot sooner than expected, and it was just a disaster. Like it was, I'm watching that play going, that was the final play. That's the play that they said this is going to get us in the end zone.
And that was the thing, though. Motioning the running back out was you gave up the numbers advantage. Like, you just do the body count when you do the freeze frame. I sent it to you almost immediately. It's like, just count the number of Michigan guys and number of hats that are coming towards the line. He's got no shot in hell because at least one of those guys is coming free from either side. And that's exactly what happened. And you saw the push all game from the Michigan defensive front. So the center, who'd had issues all season long, exacerbated in that game. And the fact that you have no confidence to draw up a pass play, and maybe that was the first look. Maybe it was the second look. But either way, that becomes the best option that you've got. Tells you the type of day, the frustration that there was trying to call plays for the game. And it still went to overtime. Take nothing away from what Alabama accomplished this year, the coaching job Saban did. Because remember, how many times did we talk to folks where they were burying Alabama? I'm like, no. All you got to do is win. Just keep pushing along. It doesn't have to be pretty because you get a month after it's all said and done to get right if you make the playoff. And so while it wasn't perfect, this is the team you got. And Milroe, evaluate him as you will, for Nick Saban, hell of a coaching job. Just in that moment, play number 3 on the sheet, blew up in his face.
And this is what surprised me when I talk about Michigan retiring Nick Saban, is how much did that loss really just push him over the edge to, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. Because this was all, hey, Nick Saban with a team that wasn't great, still made the playoff. They beat Georgia. This wasn't a great Alabama team. Everybody's excited about what's next. Hey, this is not a great team. And here they are. But instead, I wonder if Saban looked at it as, okay, everybody has caught up to us. And I don't know, he got to that game, and I guarantee, just like every single Alabama fan I know at that field, there was no point in the game where they thought they weren't going to win. And they didn't think we're going to impose our will, because that's what we've seen for the better part of 15 years from Nick Saban, because the guy's the best coach that I've ever seen in college football. But seeing that game, we got pushed around. We didn't have a lot of offense, and this is where college football is now headed, where the Big Ten is becoming the power in college football. The SEC has been the power, but the Big Ten is there. I don't know if we're going to be there, if we're going to be able to live up to that standard that is here at Alabama. Here's another year without a national title. Whoa, wait a minute. I've won 6 here, but the last one was 2020. It's hang on a second. So that's a really big thing, and I guarantee you this game was the one. It wasn't just an overall feeling. It was, hey, that's the final. That pushes me over the edge, because I don't know how much Alabama is still going to be Alabama, even if Nick Saban stayed.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more to it of as we chronicled the year as it was for Alabama, people looking at decline, whatever. We talked a lot about the countenance of Nick Saban throughout the year. Seemed in a better, whatever the resolution of the year was going to be, he just seemed in a better place, except in the postgame. In that postgame immediacy, there was some level of despondency that crossed him, right? Not I'm angry, but a sadness that felt different than past losses, like even the last couple of years, right? They get exited. But you look at all his media appearances, and that's obviously where everybody's speculating the next bid is, after he gets out of this and everything washes away, is that he's at a desk alongside McAfee or whoever else and doing full media and doing more commercials with Deion Sanders. But we also talked about the fact a lot with Jim Harbaugh as we broke down the national title, what's next for him. A lot of it was predicated on NIL and the changing face of college football. Nick Saban did everything to tell you he's not a fan of any of that the last couple of years. So he just becomes the next guy, along with Jay Wright and several others, who I think you hit your tipping points. Like, I'm giving it the old college try. And if I win, it's kind of like I have to defend home court, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's time to go home.
It's like Harbaugh at Michigan. Can he really keep it going? Can he really, or is this as good as it's going to get? And when you want to get out before it's time to, hey, we got to push you out. But 2 years after winning the national title.
But he's at least still jacked about the process and where it's going. That he thinks he can do some good, not just hey, let's sing for he's a jolly good fellow.
Well, he's also 15 years younger than Saban, because remember, you're talking about these guys who are
60
walking away
versus
today.
72.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bad day for 72.
Ooh,
and guess what? Belichick, 72, April 16th.
Yeah.
I mean, they go in threes.
72-year-olds retiring.
Well, I mean, they usually apply to death. In this case, it's walking.
Why's it got to be death?
Well, I'm just for folks that didn't get the reference. I
specifically went away from that and talked about retiring just so you wouldn't talk about death from people who are in their 70s. What is wrong with you sometimes?
Hey, they're young and
I
spry.
specifically went away with it. I went away with it. Oh, Harmon, what's next? Who's next? You saw a bunch of names thrown out there tonight. I love the crazy, right? I love the Deion Sanders to Alabama would break the internet. No. The Alabama's going, no. We're good.
How is he about building
crazy.
and utilizing offensive and defensive lines? Let's start there.
Jim Harbaugh jumping to Alabama. Oh, I know it's going to the NFL. I want to go to Alabama. This is the thing about the Alabama job. Everybody wants that job. Nobody wants to succeed Nick Saban.
No,
Nobody
but that's
does.
just it, right? It's
Nobody.
that catch-22. It's the Drew Carey scenario on The Price is Right. Bob Barker walks away.
Yeah.
Who are you going to get?
I get the
Because you
job.
know you're going to get absolutely murdered in the press and everything you do for at least a year or two before people finally realize, okay, good. Following the guy.
You
That's
want
the
to
way to
follow
go.
the guy who follows the guy.
That's right.
That's what you want to
Have
do.
him go in, take the slings and arrows, get fired.
You want
move on.
to follow Ray Handley, not follow Bill Parcells. That's what you want.
Nicely done.
But it's a job everybody wants, but nobody wants to succeed. Nick Saban. Why? Because you're hired to be fired.
Yeah.
You're not put in a position to succeed because of the unbelievable precedent that Nick Saban has set, which is the playoff every year and a title every couple of years, right? You're talking about 6 titles, 7 overall. I mean, the guy's the most successful. He's the best college football coach I've seen. I don't even think it's any argument with what he was able to accomplish, especially in a modern era where players are leaving, you got to navigate the transfer portal, NIL, all this. This is what he was able to accomplish. Now, having to win extra games in the playoff because, hey, now you got to win it because we have 4 teams and you didn't have to do it before. You could just slide to your bowl game and beat a team that's not that great and say, hey, guess what? We're number 1. Now you've got to beat the second best team in the country or the other best team to win the championship. That's what Nick Saban had to do. Instead of saying, hey, we won the SEC, now we're going to go to our bowl game where we're going to play West Virginia, and that's it. So you're set up to fail. No going in. You are set up to fail, and you have zero rope. You have zero leeway to try to succeed.